Well, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of DeathStryke Media's Force Friday show. It's Friday. We're talking Star Wars. I am joined today by Sean Sharp. How you doing?
Excellent, and I am joined, of course, by the magnificent James Waddington.
He calls him like a season.
And, of course, this is the second best Star Wars movie review program out there.
Well, at least in Texas. You know,
I'm going for Universal.
Yeah, speaking of the whole Texas, I got a friend of mine who watches these videos, and he's like, so who's the first? And I was like, well, I don't know yet.
Bad answer.
This is what I said. I'm like, I'm going to give them until we shoot episode 10. Okay. And if no one's come forward, we're going to be the first and the best Star Wars related show in the state of Texas.
Okay.
I'm making that claim now. Just saying.
And if the challenger does come forward, if it will make you guys happy, and definitely give us suggestions in the comments or anything, we'll have like a cook-off. We'll do arm wrestling.
We'll do something.
Tug of war.
Yeah.
Thumb wrestling.
Whatever both parties can agree to.
Paintball.
We'll film it. We'll videotape it. We'll do whatever we got to do to bring more entertainment to you guys. How was your week?
A little stressful, finishing everything up on the, this is, once again...
You're pushing the school.
Just pushing the last it needs. So after this episode will be on the air, I have like 6 days.
That's impressive.
Like 7, total 7 days. And then... and a lot of it is just waiting for paperwork to be processed.
Oh, yeah. Bureaucracy. Red tape for red tape, man. That's what you got to do.
That's it. But almost one and done kind of scenario.
That's pretty impressive. Well, if you're a first-time viewer of the show, what happens is we got a list of Star Wars topics. We're going to run them down and talk about them one at a time. And we're going to kick it right off right away with Star Wars Rebels. Now... for all those who watch this show or watch Star Wars in general and goes past the movies, there's a wonderful episode or wonderful series called Star Wars Rebels. This is on Disney XD. Right now we're in the middle of season 3. Now fans have been kind of speculating whether or not it's going to get canceled because they were so late, getting the response out from Disney or from Star Wars. It was like there's been no response, and fans were like, oh, it's canceled. We're not going to have any more. Well, it turns out a couple days ago, StarWars.com released the fact that, yes, Season 4 is coming, and it's going to premiere at the end, in the fall of this year.
Fall of the year.
Do you think this will be the final season of Rebels, and do you kind of feel about where it's going to leave us in the Star Wars timeline? Because I have some thoughts.
I've really considered this, and I've been studying Rebels.
Yeah.
For my homework and everything. I think this will be the last.
I as well.
As primarily my argument is going to be the story arcs have really developed.
So true.
And to keep things concise and tight on the point, I will say it's going to end, I feel, right after the destruction of the first Death Star.
That's pushing a little bit further out even than what I was thinking. I was thinking like the Battle of Scarif from Rogue One, like where Jyn Erso gets the plans and the Death Star actually blows up Scarif. I'm thinking that's kind of because we see episode 4 kind of start at the trail end of Rogue One. If you haven't seen it, I'm not putting up a spoiler thing. You should go see it. That's kind of where I see like season 4 will take place right before that battle. So that way, I'm hopeful that Dave Filoni and that team kind of puts together like the perspective, although we have Rogue One's perspective with Jyn and K2SO and all them, to have the Rebels perspective, like from the Rebels, the Ghost Crew's perspective on the Battle of Scarif as well. That would be kind of cool.
Right.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. What are your further thoughts?
No, don't. We're fine. It's the issue that I think that it could be a turning point. The Battle on Scarif is a big turning point one.
Yeah.
But I think their individual stories would be better served diverging around the time of the destruction of the first Death Star. Maybe right before or right after. And that's just my feel for it because of studying how the characters are going.
That would kind of make a little bit of sense, too. That would also make sense because when we first meet Luke on Tatooine, we assume that, he's a teenager, he's a young 20s. He goes off and becomes this rebel pilot, and he destroys the Death Star. but there's so much in between time there, and just after that time frame that can still be explored via the Rebels or something. I do like that theory though; it's very nice.
I just kind of like the feeling, because when we saw A New Hope, it ends with the celebration and all.
Yeah, there was no time lapse really in that whole movie, really.
Yeah, and there probably was. I mean, come on, who's the caterer here? We got to get these things straightened out. Number one, and number two, it's just the fact that. You have a diverse group of people that may be unified by a cause.
Yeah.
But they all have their overall driving goals.
Yeah. Everyone has their own personal reasons to do what they do.
Right.
Even if it's for an overall story.
So it's kind of like when Empire takes place, you have Luke on Hoth. Sure, Han's there, but he's going to get the heck out of there. And
he's preparing to leave the rebellion, because he's like, I need to get paid. I'm out, yo.
So there may be some other times that they could still serve the rebellion, but by pursuing other goals.
And that was always, if getting further into Rebels, that's sort of, I always feel like what the Ghost Crew did. They did all those like random one-off missions to further the cause of the rebellion, without actually like bringing in the known characters from the films too much. I know they have like Mon Mothma's been in it, and a couple like they have had a couple of other main players, but I do think that the Ghost Crew is like their, say, the rogue team, but that's kind of how I see it.
Yeah, well, you remember they had Rogue Squadron, so it's like there was Rogue One.
Yeah, and then the Rogue. Yeah, that's kind of exactly how I was thinking on it too. So
I don't know, maybe they make up the future Rogue Squadron. I mean, I know that's not necessarily canon anymore, but there for a while.
Rogue Squad, yeah.
They had their own series of books.
I don't know if I can't recall if they've actually been mentioned in any of the books. I mean, I've read a bunch of them in the middle. I finally started the Aftermath series. I literally just started it today, so I will see if Rogue Squadron is mentioned. I don't think it is, but I did like those books, and I did like Rogue Squadron, the video game. But
yeah.
It would be cool to like drop the Ghost in there somewhere, like as a special edition revamp of an N64 game or something.
Why not?
They've been doing it with why not?
But with the announcement, though, I think kind of tips the hand that there's going to be something special this year at Celebration.
So
we talked about that last
week. I can kind of go into that a little bit further. Yesterday was actually announced via StarWars.com and StarWarsCelebration.com that Dave Filoni and company, which is the Star Wars Rebels crew, like the animators and designers, are going to have a panel at Star Wars Celebration. It was just announced, which kind of mirrors what they did last year. So last year what they did, they had the Rebels panel with Dave Filoni, and I can't remember. I watched it. I wasn't there, but I watched it on YouTube. They previewed the first 2 episodes of season 3 at Celebration last year. So I'm hoping they do it again this year as a sort of a last hurrah for Rebels. So that'd be kind of cool. And hopefully there's been buzz about them announcing a new animated series as well at that panel.
And I really see that this would be the perfect time to do it.
Yep.
One, reward the fans. Like I said, in our discussions before, Celebration people, they're the hardcore. They're the guys that really support you through thick and thin.
Yep, they've been there through the prequels and back.
They've been there through the prequels. They've had to deal with having Jar Jar painted on their locker. They've had to put up with a lot.
Yep.
So this would be really great for them. And also, I think it's like the feeling of the end of, Rebels and the starting of a new animated series would just be perfect timing.
Yeah, there's been some speculation on where that animated series will fall, or what it's even going to include. Like, there's a huge space of time between Empire and Jedi that could be explored. There's even a ton of time after Empire, or after Return of the Jedi, to Rogue One. Not Rogue One, The Force Awakens. There's a huge, 40 years. There's a 40-year time frame that they can do, and they've kind of been touching on it in a little bit of the books here and there, like in Lost Stars. Is it Lost Stars? Yeah, Lost Stars. Yes. No. The other book. There's a Bloodlines.
Okay.
So the Bloodlines kind of follows Leia, and they kind of go into a little bit of post Jedi, building the New Republic, and kind of like, well, Luke's out, blah 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 blah. So, and I think they can go into the Aftermath series. I'm actually, like I said, just started, so we will see. That'd be really fun to animate that, to kind of see the little side adventures maybe Luke Skywalker can go on.
Now, have you read Bloodlines?
Yes.
Okay. I ran across a rumor site where they were saying that there's some new canon that Leia had Force training.
Not that I've read.
Not that you read. No, I said it was a rumor. So
Yeah. Not that I've read.
I go to those places late at night. My wife wants me, expect me to be watching something else. Instead, she finds me watching Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Not that I've read. She is force sensitive.
Right.
I mean, she's a strategist, so she has foresight on strategy and what will probably work and what won't work. That's why she's a great politician. That's why she's a great strategist and a general for the rebellion / resistance. That's how it's kind of been described in the books and again other canon. That's her force power as being a strategist.
Okay.
Kind of makes sense. She has foresight of battles going on and kind of planning the bigger picture.
Also, the fact that she was raised in a household of a diplomat.
Also true.
To be honest. And her mother was a diplomat. Her father, not so much, but hey.
Bail Organa. I mean, biological, no. The Anakin Skywalker was just a mass murdering, blah, blah, blah. But, her adopted father, Bail Organa, was obviously a politician
politician. That's what I was referring to.
Ruler of
House of a Diplomat. Yeah, but remember, he gets redeemed. He gets a Force Ghost.
He does.
He gets a Force Ghost.
You can cut down kids, but you can't murder your dad. And you still get a Force Ghost. So we'll see if Kylo Ren gets a Force Ghost at the end of this arc that we're on.
I just had this terrible humorous thought that instead of Kylo Ren getting a Force Ghost, it's a Force Ghost Han Solo.
He wasn't in the Force. We're gonna give it to Kylo, but
yeah, there's limited time here. We thought of who we're gonna hang out with.
We'll take Solo. We'll take Solo right in that. Nice segue. We're gonna segue right into actually a Han Solo story. As we all know, Han Solo is a wonderful word. It's like Han Solo. He's solo. He's by himself. He goes out and does things, but he's never by himself. He always has. Ever. He always has Chewie, or he has. Although the Millennium Falcon's not really a character, but it is a character. Like it is that he always has people around him, so he's never solo.
Right.
However, this actually came out yesterday, 2 days ago, that they've actually added a new actor to the untitled Han Solo film by the name of Mike K. Williams. I haven't actually seen any of the stuff he's really been in, but I looked him up on IMDb, and he has an incredible list of stuff that he has done. I mean, TV shows, all the way back, like what has he done? He's done
The Wire.
Yeah, done The Wire. Yeah.
Famous for The Wire.
Yeah, that's I was actually about to say that, but it's failing me. Anyway. So he's like CSI stuff like that. Like any role he does come on, like people rave about him. Like he's
a great actor.
Yeah, he steals the scenes, not steals the scenes, but makes a bad picture better just by being in it and his presence.
I can see that. The question is, what's going to be his role?
Yeah.
That's
so it's been rumored that he might be the villain.
Oh, he'd be a good villain.
Yeah. He from what I can read and other rumors floating around him that he would be a killer villain, and he would fit in the Star Wars world so well because of his nonchalance and his charisma he brings. So
yeah, I can easily see that. Such as much as I like SLJ, Mr. Windu and everything, he just seemed a little out of place, and a lot of it was the fact that
it's Samuel Jackson. Yeah,
it was who he was. It's like if they dropped John Wayne in, it would have been the same.
Yeah.
Believable. But with this character, he's actually kind of a chameleon in the roles that he plays, and he does play a lot of heavies.
Yes, he does.
He actually is very good at, like a reptile, and I mean this in the best possible way, shedding his skin and taking on new personas.
Yeah,
he's really good about that. Creepily good.
I wish I knew more about him, but looking at his IMDb page, his wide range of films that he's been in and TV shows, it just varies so massively that it's just seems like he can be in anything. Not to mention the stuff he looks like he's picked for himself. He just loves to have fun.
He does.
So he doesn't want to be bogged down by like a no nonsense like movie or something that's gonna be bland and boring. He goes out and he picks some awesome stuff to be in. I mean, I can't wait to see him. I want to learn more about him. I want to see the stuff he's been, so I can kind of give him a better judgment than I don't know who he is.
Well, that's fine. He's also, he does pick these films that sometimes are really big hits, but he's playing a minor character. Sometimes they're bigger hits, but he's playing kind of a side character.
Yeah.
The issue is, if he's going to be playing the heavy or the villain, he is going up against, once again, the proto King of Cool.
Yeah, he's going to have to be up there with Alton Ehrenreich and trying to figure out, their on-screen chemistry and if it's going to work for like a villain or a hero.
And this
or the anti-hero, because you have Han Solo.
This makes me a little worried because when you have a charismatic bad guy, the people that we love to hate, we love the charismatic bad guy. But the thing is, one of the things we loved about Han is he was kind of on the line. You never really
He was a smuggler. He was good and bad. He worked for both.
But it's the fact that you would like a character for him to have a contrast against.
Yeah.
And instead, you may have a character that's more charming than Han that maybe... you can see maybe he drew Han into the lifestyle. He hung out with the wrong crowd.
That's what I think is Woody Harrelson's character is going to be. Like he's going to be the kind of guide who kind of molds and shapes Han Solo to be Han Solo. I mean, that's kind of how it's been described. Is Woody Harrelson's character is going to be like the guide,
going by the Campbellian rule.
Yeah,
he's the mentor guide that meets you at the threshold.
Exactly. Yeah, that's going to be. That's going to be great. Again, going back to Woody Harrelson, I think his on screen or his character hopefully will be an excellent counterpart to Michael Williams. So maybe if there's not chemistry between Alton Ehrenreich and Williams, maybe there'll be excellent chemistry between Woody Harrelson. But maybe not. Maybe it all works well. Who knows? It's too early to tell. Like we haven't had any. I mean, it's too early. They haven't put out any little blips or anything. They're kind of waiting for.
Give us something to study.
Yeah,
We're
gonna speculate on every little detail anyway.
Give us something, please.
So you might as well give us something that we can actually chew on and digest. That's actually true. But we'll see. That's a long ways down the road still. So. Getting back to Han Solo real fast, we got another story coming out of the Han Solo world. Have you been to the Canary Islands?
Yes.
I have not. I didn't know you have been there. I'm not entirely surprised by that. You say things that I believe you. But
I own $1 million. I have $1 million in coins.
I still believe you.
I have a sports car.
So getting back to that real fast. So it's been rumored and confirmed that Han Solo will be shooting at least in part in the Canary Islands somewhere, if not the main Grand Canary, if not some of the other islands throughout there. Now, I think of beaches, but apparently where they're going to be shooting is like mountainous and desertous, which I think is kind of cool. It kind of gives you that alien world atmosphere. Right, but I'm mostly looking forward to having Han and Chewie on a beach drinking a rum and coke or a margarita. Do you think it's going to happen?
No, and here's my reasons why. One, no, I have not been to the Canary Islands. Two, I do know about them. Okay. And actually, they have a very rugged, rocky interior.
Yeah, okay.
And there's actually a lot of archaeological sites on the Canary Islands where they were able to carve the stone. Now, that alone tells me this may be a great backdrop for an alien civilization.
Yeah.
One. Two, fur. No. Beach, fur,
sand. Well, at least there's no Anakin, so there's no sand.
It gets everywhere. It's unpleasant. And I'm sorry, Solo's a bourbon guy. A lot of people.
See, I was thinking that or rum, but
smuggler rum. I think you'd see that as too cliche.
Or not.
Oh, okay. Embrace it. But no, I always figured him as a bourbon guy.
Yeah, maybe so. Like you can see him just getting going to whatever cantina that he has picked out wherever he is and goes bourbon. And you're like, I know which one you want.
Yeah, it's
like super top shelf or super under the bar.
He glares at the bartender after he says it, and they go, "It's the secret glare.
It's the secret bourbon. We need that one."
Yeah. As for Chewie, it's just the image of all that hair and salt water and the smell.
Wet dog smell? Yeah.
I always wondered why Chewie never wore a Speedo.
He doesn't wear anything.
I know. No one has ever freaked out of the. What's with the dude walk around naked?
Well, is he really naked? He's got fur.
He's walking around naked.
I guess I walk around with fur. I guess
he looks like some of my relatives, except they had more hair up here.
That makes you wonder about does he do a dog does raise his leg and pee in a tree, or does he?
I'm sorry, it's a big question that occurred to me because you think of beaches, you think of board shorts, sunglasses, and it's like.
Put Chewie in board shorts carrying a surfboard.
Why would he be wearing shorts then, of all times, when he's walking around naked all the time?
Comedic irony for no other reason.
It's but it's a very pretty place from what I've seen on especially Google Maps and stuff.
Oh yeah, they do a good job.
National Geographic. But hopefully they'll actually use some of the pre-existing rocky scapes.
That's what I loved about the Force Awakens when we finally saw Luke on the Michael Skellig Island. I can't remember the name of it, but the island where he is in Ireland. Mm-hmm. They weren't allowed to do anything. Right. They could only have like 13 people or 20 people on the island at a time. But the ruins that were there were so out of this world because they were so old. It fits the Star Wars world like so well that I can't wait to see what they do with the Han Solo film in this particular setting on the Grand Canaries.
Of course, being the history geek I was, is like, oh, I think I know what those are. It's like,
is it Michael Skellig Island? Skellig Michael Island. I can't remember.
But
please correct me.
I thought they were the Orkneys because they have stone blocks that are very similar architecture. That's what I thought it was. I thought they'd actually built them, but I'm actually now pleased to know. Yeah. Oh wow, this is a great site, and
they weren't allowed to do anything to that island.
Yeah, we've done enough. Trust me.
So from what I understand, some of the shots that they're going to be using for that scene, and there's been rumors like about what Episode 8 is going to entail and where was Luke living on this island? Was he living in a cave? Was he living like in the ocean? Like people are speculating, but a picture came out of like this monster looking thing and some other bits and bobs that are apparently going to. Everything they couldn't build on the island, they built on the mainland, but it has similar architecture to it that they were able to build up to make it look like it was on the island. So that's cool.
That's very cool. I mean, it was a beautiful scene. I mean, just the cinematography on it was just fabulous, and it looked like, it looked like a scene from an old Irish novel, except for the Jedi orbs.
Even then, that was like, if there was no like lightsaber, you just saw a guy hanging out in robes,
looking sad off into the distance.
That's Irish. That's Ireland for you.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been, long, awkward silence. It was a perfect foreign film. Beautiful scene.
Dramatic look and silence.
End.
I'm going to put a spoiler alert here. So if you don't want to know anything about Episode 8, go ahead and just mute it. Don't turn us off. Just mute it.
Please keep watching.
Until you see the spoiler sign go away. So there was this isn't in the show notes. This came up today. So there was a shareholders meeting at Disney.
I read about this.
Yeah. So at least you're prepared for this. And there was some information that was put out there by, I think he was just an LA Times journalist. He wasn't actually like someone of Disney. Like I think his credentials were like from LA Times.
Yes.
About little bits and bobs that they showed during that shareholders meeting for Episode 8. They go on to describe like the first words from Luke. I think it was quoted like saying, "Who are you?" I don't know if it was Luke saying that or if it was Rey saying that, but that was apparently the first words that Luke says in the movie. Again, spoilers. It was also mentioned that Captain Phasma was in it, which is like how she got out of the trash compactor and off of Starkiller.
Hey.
It's been done. Who else? There was X-Wings, Leia, a couple of other things, and a couple of like some of the scenery that was described was this was outstanding and fitting for, I can't remember the exact quote, but it's like outstanding and fitting for the world of Star Wars. But what do you think about all that stuff?
I was actually very, very intrigued. I'm paranoid, so whenever there's a press person that's like leaking something, it's like, who let him in?
Yeah, right.
Number one, who let him in to the House of Mouse, one of the most tight, vaulted places on the planet? The CIA needs to take lessons
from Disney.
These guys.
It's funny. Funny you say that, because when you go to, I've never been to D23, but apparently the security around D23 to go to their panels and viewing rooms is so incredibly tight. Like they put your phones and like tamper-proof Ziploc bags. They do like a full body scan to make sure you have no recording devices on you before you even go into those viewing halls to watch whatever premiere is going to happen. Crazy stuff, but you're right. Take lessons from CIA.
Take lessons. Disney. CIA, trust me. Take lessons. They probably hire a lot of ex-spooks.
Yeah, probably.
We actually study them in business school.
Oh, really?
Disney is actually almost what they call the perfect model.
Sure, they own everything.
They make tons of money, and yet, when was it an oil spill? When did they close an orphanage? When did they do any? They keep making money, and yet they are the dark side, and I mean that in the best possible way, because they have all this power, but they're intangible.
Yeah,
they're what they call soft power, and they employ so many ways to engineer your experience.
Mm-hmm.
They're masters at it. But they're tamper-proof bags. You know, they have seals on them. I mean, they're medical level. They'll even like heat seal them.
Yep. So no one but you or no one but them can get into it, and you get your phone back, and they know it's you.
The thing is, so I asked, how did this press member get in here? Number one.
So you must be a shareholder. That's the only thing I can think of.
Or someone was talking to a shareholder like, you're buying me lunch at Spago's. I got some
just so you know, Disney, I've got like $20 in the bank. How many shares does that give me? Because I want to be in those meetings.
Yeah.
So
I do have a portfolio for the record. I can transfer the funds around.
Got $20 right here, right now. Let's do it.
Okay. Now we're doing cash money.
Hey, $20 is a lot to some people.
Some people
like me.
Well, we're dealing in cash versus other issues, but no, I find it very interesting. Also, the question is, who are you? One, that can be taken 9 different ways.
Yeah.
And also, it's got to be the weirdest question to ask when someone appears. You're a Jedi.
Yeah. And then, so depending on who said it, because I got to remember who said it. It was either Luke or Rey. But yeah, can you imagine like Rey digging that saber out of her bag and handing it, and Luke going, "Who are you?"
That's what I kind of feel it has to be. Whereas Rey walks up, she's already got her hand out with the lightsaber.
Yeah, and remember, she's never seen Luke either. Like they've never seen each other before.
Somehow,
so we think.
She walks up to this guy, sticks a lightsaber in his face, and then says the line, "Who are you?" What, is she going to flick the switch on him? Like it's a taser?
Who are you? Who are you? Oh, man.
Tell me now. Tell me now.
Stop
hitting yourself.
That's Luke Skywalker, mother F, but yeah.
That's just a very odd question to start off on. Of course, the way they left it, any question would be odd. Like, is it all right if I park over there?
Are they gonna tow?
Do you validate? Yeah.
It's a Falcon, so are they gonna tow it?
You should recognize the thing, but as for getting out of a trash compactor, now we had heroes get out of a trash compactor before. What's more important is
don't shoot it with the blaster.
How the heck she got off the planet?
Right before, yeah, exactly. That's what I was wondering too. How'd she get off the planet before it explodes?
Was she a force sensitive and went, I have a feeling I am so shamed I must leave the planet.
F this, I'm out.
Yeah, the theme song. Yeah, F this, I'm out. Did she have to ditch her shiny armor?
Yeah, right. But no, the Captain Phasma apparently is in this viewing that they saw, and she's back in full bling armor.
Stands to reason. I mean, if you're going to, buy one set of bling, you're going to buy multiple sets of bling. But
also true.
You're not paying for it.
No, definitely not. Yeah. Well, keeping with that, the episode 8 sort of rundown, Rian Johnson, the guy who's actually producing and he's the producer for episode 8. He loves to troll the Twitter sphere. And so someone in the Twitter sphere tweeted him the other day and was like, "For my birthday, I want to know what the Last Jedi means." So Rian Johnson kind of, gets a nice little jab in there. It goes, "It means the Last Jedi," or it means the final Jedi. Yeah. And Twitter exploded. We're like, "Oh, he said it was the last one, or said it was the final one. There's no more." And then someone's like, it's a synonym, right? They mean the same thing. We already know that the Last Jedi is actually plural because of all the...
Because Jedi is plural.
Yeah, that and the international, when they released the name internationally, the international translation for Jedi was no longer, as we were thinking, maybe singular, but pretty much every foreign language it was translated to was always putting it in plural.
You mean every language that actually structurally makes sense?
English is just a hashtag.
Don't say those words.
This
is going out on the interwebs. Don't say those words. Certain people could see this. Every language that has a normal structure. Well, let's leave it at that.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So it's already been tipped.
It's a hard language, okay?
It's already been tipped. I don't know. I mean, it's how else do you respond to that? You're not going to give some, 12-year-old kid, quote unquote, 12-year-old kid.
Right.
It's my birthday on Twitter sphere, anything.
No, especially on Twitter, because they can be retweeted all over the world in seconds.
Right. Talk about a non-disclosure fine. So
even though you made the movie, we're going to fine you $10 million.
Yes, I think standard policy is $150,000 plus per leak.
Oh.
So multiply that by Twitter sphere.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Adds up fast, doesn't it?
Adds up fast. It's like, he's like the perfect troll for Twitter sphere. Like, Obi-Wan is the perfect troll most of the time for
Anakin. Pablo Hidalgo does the same thing. Like someone asks him some stupid question, we'll give like a smart ass answer, but like, yeah, that particular one weird thing was canon, like the Christmas special, totally canon, but he'll be kidding and people will like just explode. Yeah, we mentioned it. Christmas special. Don't watch it. We wasted our time.
Don't want to go back to therapy. Don't want to go back to therapy. We said we wouldn't talk about it.
Can you imagine how much drugs they were on to actually film that? Yeah, they did drugs.
After reading Carrie Fisher's autobiography, yeah,
I need to read that still.
I
know she's an amazing writer.
She was an amazing writer, number one. Number two, she was an incredible, humble writer.
Mm-hmm.
It's people who struggle with a lot of mental health issues. They're usually very humble because it's like, you have to get away from the ego to be able to help yourself.
Yeah.
And the thing is, she had a lot of demons and she dealt with them, and fortunately, she didn't deal with them like climbing a water tower.
Yeah, she poked fun at herself half the time.
Right, and actually gave great insights into actually how Hollywood, one, really works, and two, how much people are lubricated, quote unquote, on how things work, especially in the 70s. There's a tagline I won't use. I'm being family friendly that Dave Chappelle coined. Cocaine is a...
Yep. That's true. And that the big three were all, I don't know if they ever came out with Harrison Ford doing that, but I know Mark Hamill did. I know Carrie Fisher did. But yeah, it was one of those. It's a heck of a drug.
Yeah, I think everybody of the 70s kind of had a poison. It was kind of like...
Yeah, pick your poison.
It was literally pick your poison. I think Harrison, was a little bit of a drinker, but he pretty much straightened out early on.
Yeah, he had solid roles throughout 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s.
He was always a solid performer.
Yeah.
He's always been a solid performer.
So other than his little, flight accidents here and there, but other than that, yeah, he's completely squared away. So
I'm sorry, I'm getting older, but just the thought of Harrison Ford flying now is the left turn signal on? Just stuck.
Was it they got the blue, the green, and the red light on either side of the plane? One just blinks and one just off
all the time.
Are you flying around in circles?
What is he signaling? I don't know. I'm sorry, Mr. Ford.
We love you. We're just poking fun at you because we can.
I hope to be as active as you when I get to that age.
Yeah, no flying planes. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I hope that in his plane he actually has it set up kind of like the Falcon's cockpit,
or at least the dice,
or maybe like a couple of stickers that you could kind of tell. Like, I don't know, but that's how I see it.
I saw a Fanboy. You ever heard of the movie Fanboys?
Yeah, of course.
You remember the interior of the van where they had the dashboard set up?
Yes.
I always wanted that. I was like, secretly, if I had a van.
I have a relative who for their sunscreen that they put up in the summertime, it's the crew of the Falcon.
Yes, I've seen those. Seen those at the art
I have
school.
a relative. I see it every time I go to their house. It's just parked out front with all the Falcon crew. I'm like,
just brings a smile to your face.
Yeah, I'm like that's pretty cool.
Just the feeling if it was really on Earth, the Millennium Falcon would be one of those Winnebagos.
Yeah,
one of those big ones.
It would be. It would. It might even have like bumper stickers from everywhere it's been.
Right. It'd be that hunk of junk. This is the fastest Winnebago.
It can go across the country in 12 parsecs.
It's a special modifications.
That's right. It's got a square radar dish on top for the old school satellite TVs. Oh man, someone's got to build that. So if you have an old Winnebago and you don't know what to do with it, we just gave you your idea. Do it. Take photos and send it to us.
Send it to us. We will promote you. Do it for charity. Show up to events.
And then auction it off to give the money to charity or keep it. Whatever.
Oh, yeah. Make a name for yourself.
Yeah. Send us the photos at DeathStrikeMedia@gmail.com and we'll totally check them out.
Yeah, make a name for yourself. We'll definitely promote you guys. Have fun with it.
Oh, yeah.
If I had the disposable income and talent...
That might be one of those things.
The income's not necessarily as great in need as the talent aspect.
Is there a genie I can make a wish? Like, can I be as talented as a prop maker as pick somebody?
Anybody. I've seen
high school. Cool. I don't care.
I've seen my arts and crafts. No,
your arts and crafts. You need a ball peen hammer, an anvil, and a piece of metal, and you're like, yes. Done.
Yeah, it's one of those days. But as for the Last Jedi comment, I think one of the things we had talked about before, how long do you think the movie franchise will go?
The Disney hasn't said it's ever going to stop.
And you see, I always have mixed feelings on that because I do like arc development. I do like the mythos that they have built in, and I also like the gap of time between, because fans get to develop their own mythos.
Also, yeah, it kind of festers in a way.
Right.
Like, yeah, just like as soon as you know, there was such a big break between episode 3 and episode 7 that it's just like you start building these like, oh, it was so good when, you know, the original trilogy, episodes 4, 5, 6 were so good. These ones, I can't wait to the next big one. You build these things in your head, and you're like, I hope it does this, and I hope it does that. Star Wars hasn't disappointed yet, so.
Well, no, honestly, actually, no, it hasn't. I'm just afraid that you're going to suffer from the novella syndrome. Whereas, not just continuity, but really trying to keep it fresh.
Keep it new, keep it fresh, keep it entertaining,
keep it something. It's when you have a standard like, say,
but I think that's what they're trying to do that with the anthology films, like with the Solo and then with the Rogue One. They're bringing in these characters that were unknown. Obviously, they're written up by the Lucasfilm, but like Rogue One was such a different film than the trilogy films or the episodic films. It's like as long as we can keep doing that in between every so often, I'm good with it.
No, if it's the question, can they maintain that quality, such as with the infamous people, Star Trek. Hey, Trekkers, how you doing?
Love you.
Not really.
Hey, I've seen 99% of all of the Star Trek out there.
Okay, but now I'm not saying the original airings. I'm saying it's the spin-off sides. Can you keep the quality and storylines? And that's what I'd be afraid
Enterprise
of.
was terrible.
Way to go, Bakula.
Yeah, that whole series. I had a friend of mine that was actually in that series. Other than him, because he's my friend, that whole series is just god awful.
I actually tried to watch it because I was always fascinated.
You tried, and then you're like, nope, turn it off.
Fair enough. I was always fascinated with the pre-Kirk era.
Yeah,
you know,
the first push to space travel.
Man's first push into this crazy world universe that they created.
Yep.
And I did try, and failed.
Yeah, the thing, talking Star Trek just briefly, what I kind of didn't like about that series was when they made that first Enterprise, they gave although they were trying to get a throwback to Captain Kirk's Enterprise, where you had the push comms. Even in today's world, our Navy can communicate throughout the entire sub electronically. So if this was supposed to be in the future, they failed miserably. It's like you can communicate anywhere on a boat, basically by just finding the comms guy and he'll put it out for you or whatever.
It's kind of,
and we have cell phones, so
it's just the issue that it's hard to predict what technology is going to be in the future.
Yeah, that's so true.
And so when you make a sci-fi thing, when you do a sci-fi film, you really have to either be way out there.
Yeah, that's why I like Star Wars sometimes.
Or you just go, that's just how they developed it.
Yeah, and that's why I appreciate Star Wars, because it does say in a galaxy a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. Yeah. So anything that you can kind of like, oh, that's kind of like what today's technology. No, it's far, far away. It's a long time ago. Don't worry about it. That's why we don't have any lightsabers anymore. They got faded out.
It's like
we got guns that go bang.
Why is all the plans on analog?
Right?
Because they didn't develop digital. Are you happy? They liked analog. It worked. It won.
In this universe, it won.
Betamax won. In that universe, Betamax won. It was better quality. It was better quality.
But still, I like where we are today.
I just had the image of Palpatine actually having a secret Betamax collection.
Oh, man.
Hidden off in the corner with these laser discs.
Oh, God.
The real reason he wanted kyber crystals.
Good.
But you can see the quality, can't you?
It's like a gold record. There's a movie on there. If you know what that's from, SLC Punks. Anyway. Yeah. It's one of my weird favorite movies.
It's not a bad movie.
No, it's pretty good. Kicking it back kind of old school, talking about Betamaxes and stuff. There's a character back from old Ken, now called Legends, called Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yes.
I'm familiar with him. He's popped up in Rebels. He has been rewritten into Star Wars canon, since the books, old books, are no longer canon. So, with that being said, Timothy Zahn, the original writer of the Thrawn trilogy books from Legends, has actually rewritten Thrawn's story back into Star Wars canon books. He's now placed him kind of obviously now pre-episode 4. He was after that, like he was after episode 4. He was like in the middle of it all.
Right.
So now he's been placed before that. And what Timothy Zahn did, he, instead of writing 3 books, because I don't think they're finished developing his character yet, so they don't know where he's going to be projected, if he's even going to survive after Rebels. The book doesn't come out to another, like, I think 13 days, something like that. Anyway, so instead of having 3 books, they've actually come out with 3 variant covers for this book as a sort of a tip of the hat to the original trilogy. Now, did you read any of the original Thrawn books?
I was aware of them.
Okay.
And a lot of my friends were big Star Wars readers.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I never caught up with it. I was still very much a sci-fantasy reader.
Right.
But more on the fantasy side. So
yeah.
I was reading that more. I found him very interesting, though. Actually, when I heard that they were bringing him back, and I actually studied him in clips from Rebels.
Yeah, he's a strategist.
Very interesting character.
A funny little side bit that if you look at the overall Empire and who they employ, stormtroopers, officers, anybody, they're all humanoids, white people. Mm-hmm. He's the only blue alien pretty much in the entire Empire. Think about that for a minute. That's how good he is. He impressed the Emperor so much. He's like, I don't care if you're blue. Get on a Death Star and go kill things.
Oh, it was also the fact that, from what I understand, he was out on the outer rims, outer regions, and he had a very specific task. Not necessarily have to get into that, but for him to appear in Rebels, I found it very interesting. Of course, I wanted to do, instead of Khan, like Thrawn.
That would be, if they did something like that in Rebels, it's like someone just yells at like one of the characters, that'd be hilarious. That'd be amazing.
I couldn't shake that feeling. It's like Thrawn.
I hope they do that in some way, shape, or form, or something like that.
But he is a different type of Imperial officer.
Yes.
And he's a type that everyone will underestimate. They think that they're not underestimating him,
right?
But they are.
And they kind of go into that a little bit in Rebels. I'm still a little bit behind in Rebels. I'm kind of waiting to get caught up until after next week's episode, because after next week's episode, that episode is going to be Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul for the final time.
Yeah.
But I know Thrawn just had a big episode that I haven't watched yet. But while all the previous episodes that he's been in, he's the type of villain that goes, "Oh, let them win this small battle. This only tells me how they operate further. That way I can plan and trap them later." See, that's smart. Like, let him have that one. Let him have that one. We're going to take him out over there when it actually means something.
Yeah, if anything, he reminded me of a historical figure, Win Gap. I don't know if you ever...
No, where's he
Win
from?
Gap.
Or when was he?
The Vietnam War.
Okay.
He was the guy with the terrible task of fighting the world's greatest superpower.
Ah.
Think about that. That's who your opponent is, the world's greatest superpower. You got to figure out how to neutralize their superior training, their superior firepower, and their determination to use technology that you do not have.
Yeah.
Now, that's who the Thrawn reminds me of.
I see.
Because he was the kind of guy that also had sayings like, we've lost this one on he never used the term on purpose. So it was like, we've lost this one. They will feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And we will hug the giant by the belt so he can't use his power against us.
That's very similar to Thrawn, yeah.
We will be willing to lose 10,000 men if it costs him one night of unrest.
Yeah, that's very much Thrawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sacrifice the small meaningless battles, but your overall goal is to take down the enemy, in one giant swoop, then go for it.
And it's not just on the battlefield.
Yeah, no, it's psychological too.
Psychological, yeah. Very much a psychological.
That's they kind of point that out too, in some of the episodes where like the Ghost, intercepts the Star Destroyer that Thrawn is on or wherever. It's like, oh, it's Thrawn. Like they just know that he is dread. Like he is no one to mess with.
It's like if you're in...
Gotta watch my language. I'm like, nope, can't say that.
Well, it's kind of like the feeling when the wonderful line, the Emperor's not as forgiving as I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that line. It's like, why did I have to get this posting?
Yeah,
Why did I have to get this posting?
That's pretty rough. that's a good way to describe Thrawn as well. It's like, well, kind of. So there was an episode where was it Hera or was it Sabine? I can't remember who it was. I know Ezra was involved, so it might have been Sabine. Where they kind of infiltrate back into Sabine. They're going somewhere, and Thrawn had not really set a trap, but he was there as sort of studying Sabine and the rest of them to try to figure out who they were, where they came from, stuff like that. And he doesn't actually like take her into custody. He knows immediately who she is, and she knows immediately who he is, but he sort of plays it coy, like, oh, she's just a generic rebel. I'll take care of her. It's fine. You're like, oh, damn.
He knows my name.
Yeah, and yeah, he calls her Sabine Wren, and she's like, oh.
Ooh, yeah.
So, anyway, yeah, he's definitely a major strategist and basically a psychological thriller, if you will.
Yeah,
so.
I find characters like that always the superior characters.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, they become fan favorites, but the issue is the writers have to deliver.
Yeah, and Timothy Zahn, I mean, even... although I haven't read these books, the fans around the Grand Admiral Thrawn has just been insane. So when they announced this book, I think it was last year at a Celebration, people went ballistic, like, "Oh my God, they're doing a Thrawn book!" And I was like, "Cool, let me get to know this character. I have no idea who they're talking about." So I have it on pre-order for Amazon. As soon as it comes out, I'll get it. I'm also going to buy the digital copy or the Audible so I can listen to it just so I can. Luckily, it'll be here before Celebration, so I can get it done before Celebration. We'll be good there. Oh, speaking of Celebration, this isn't in the notes. I'm going to do a little quick segment on Celebration. So if you're following along, you know that I'm going to be going to Celebration. Star Wars Celebration is going to be in Orlando. Now, every week it seems like they come out with new information. I'm just going to throw this out there. They just announced that, again, Dave Filoni was going to be there. That was announced on Wednesday. They've also put up on their website the autograph hall and the times available for the people who are autographing. Now, if you're into autographs, that's cool. Be prepared to bring a lot of money to have Felicity Jones sign anything. It's like $400. Yeah. So probably not going to happen for me because I'm not spending that kind of money for a damn piece of paper being signed. However, they have some other cool ones on here like Ray Park, who was Darth Maul, Peter Mayhew was Chewbacca, Deep Roy, who did a bunch of stuff, and Billy D. Williams is in there, and the new R2 guy is going to be there, Jimmy V, Alan Tudyk. So they just announced kind of all these guys kind of all at once a couple days ago. Go check out the site, starwarscelebration.com/guest/autograph hall. Check it out. They announce stuff every Wednesday. It seems like Star Wars does their YouTube show on Wednesdays. Mm-hmm. So they kind of announce it through that, and then you go to the website and check out like, oh, they're doing this and this and this. Go check it out, guys. It's really cool. If you're going to Celebration, I'll see you there. Look for me or don't. I don't care which. I'm gonna be in line. I'm gonna be in line.
Look for him.
I'm gonna be going to the episode 8 panel. I'm gonna be doing the Rebels panel. I even signed up this show to be on the live podcasting stage. I haven't heard anything back. One day. I haven't heard anything back from Reed Pop yet. I don't think I'm going to get it, but if I do get it, I'm going to do a live show there. That'll be me and another guy who's going to be with me. So that's the rundown on Celebration news for now. That's all I have for this. Do you have anything else you'd like to talk about?
Other than $400 for an autograph from Felicity Jones. I like her, so it's like,
can I just pay for $400 and just take you home with me? I mean, not that way.
Yeah,
not that way. But like,
I was going to try to avoid that. I was trying to avoid that.
Not that way. I just want to hang out with her for like an hour. Can I pay you like $400 to go get a drink with me or something?
You're not helping. You just need to stop. You're not helping.
I'm gonna dig that ditch deeper. I was
just thinking of is like I could just see the budget line like, yeah. Well, what was this $400 for?
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's like, who is Felicity?
Nobody.
Nobody important. Why does that name seem familiar?
She stole the Death Star plans. Don't worry about it.
I could just once again we're just
she's an American hero.
Digging the hole.
She's not
deeper.
American.
Well, neither were most Americans at one time.
That's also true.
If you want to be honest about it, they were traitors, British traitors.
That's right. Another subject for another day.
It's like, did you spend $400 on all these figures?
No.
800 maybe, but
not 400.
But not 400.
The one that I actually really like to do that I'll probably end up trying to get is the voice actress for Hera, and Hera is the pilot of the Ghost, and later on, and actually in Rogue One, there's a little cameo. If you can hear her voice, not her voice, but someone goes, General Hera report to blah, 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 and it was confirmed by Dave Filoni, who created the characters, that was actually Hera, not her dad. So she's at least alive during Rogue One. It would be really cool just to meet her, be like, hey, I love your character, love what you done with the character, and your voice is cool, blah, 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 blah. All the fanboy stuff. Ian McDermott would be really cool,
Of course.
Emperor Palpatine.
Who also has a great sense of humor. He started on that. He had a small series on YouTube. As like he appeared on a show like Mechanics of the Empire.
Oh, who's that?
That was a long time ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because he was really making fun of the fact that Emperor Palpatine doubled as janitor.
I'm going to mop this floor.
I mean, this was before Robot. This was actually before Robot Chicken was making fun of him as much as they did. I would like to see, of course, Alan Tudyk and.
Alan Tudyk's a little pricey too, but Ray Park is definitely on my radar. Not only am I cheap, it is you can do a cheap autograph / photo with him for like I don't know, like $60, 30 a piece, or maybe it's 40 a piece. I gotta look at it again, but he's definitely on my radar, as well as I would really want to do Billy D. Williams.
Of course, Mr. Williams.
Yeah, and then Alan Tudyk would be cool, but I just can't. But I got to do Peter Mayhew. Mainly because he's the legend. He probably won't be around forever. Let's put that nicely. And I just got to meet I got to meet the original Chewie, man.
Yeah, he was the original. He was the original, best bud, and he introduced the term Chewie to white people. Yeah,
zing and a win.
Zing. As for Mr. Park, I knew of him as a martial artist before he got involved.
For Ray Park.
Yeah.
He was Toad in X-Men. The original X-Men.
He was, but it's just his choreography in the industry and all his other things that he had done. That's why I'd want to meet him. I know the movies are very important to me, but just his history and study of how he's made a life.
Yeah,
taking it to a different level.
His panel that he does for Celebration, like he had one last year. I don't know if he's gonna do it again this year. He basically, what he did with Warwick Davis was they reenacted some of the scenes from Episode 1. Like he was obviously Ray Park was Darth Maul, but he had to remember some of the lines that he did and some of the choreography, and he would, because he did a lot of that fight choreography himself. Right. Like he was part of the choreography team. He kind of told, he brought fans on stage to kind of do combat with and stuff. He seems like a completely down to earth guy. Like, yes, I was Darth Maul and I got cut in half, but you know what?
I was Darth Maul.
So we'll see. I really that's again on my top list. It's just I'm gonna be busy. I'm gonna say just really tired for a lot of it. So we will see what I can come out with once it's over and I come back home and we can do another show. Yeah, Peter Mayhew's not too bad. Ray Park's pretty inexpensive too, but I'm not gonna spend all my money on autographs, obviously, but it's definitely got to be. I got to at least meet somebody.
I would really aim for
Peter Mayhew at least.
Peter Mayhew, just because, like I said, he was the original sidekick.
Yeah,
he was a great guy,
and he didn't. I'll bring him a medal.
That you never got a medal. I wonder if anyone's ever done that. That may be a fantastic thing.
Yeah, here's your medal.
Why didn't you get one?
I'm sure he has probably a pile of them over the years, but
you never know. You never know. But the thing is, just the image of these racist.
No one likes the Chewie.
Well, it was like, when you go back, when someone points it out to you, it's like you start to think, what was going on here?
Yeah,
he would put his neck on the line like everyone else.
He was a vital part of that team. Like if it wasn't for him, the Falcon probably would have been falling apart all the time. Han wouldn't have time to go do half the things he needed to go do. Someone's got to fly that ship while Han's doing whatever Han does,
which is usually seeming to lounge around. But
yeah, did you watch the Clone Wars, the series?
Yes.
Do you know Hondo?
Yes.
I hope he's in the Han Solo film.
Really?
Pirate smuggler.
I hadn't think I had, wow, syntax volleyball. I had a nascent thought of what they were going to do with him.
Yeah. He's actually a pretty beloved character. Just throwing that out there.
Just because he's kind of a scumbag that's not a scumbag,
yeah.
once again.
Yep.
Personally, why I would never make it as a Jedi, I would have already offed him
yeah.
by now.
That's not the Jedi way.
I said I would never have made it as a Jedi.
That's why I will
This
be a Jedi. I can't kill him because he's just kind of a fun guy and he causes lots of shenanigans and moves the show along when it has to.
It's almost like, well, we need to get the seriously, we're getting overcrowded with these guys. We need to find them a jump. Hey, Hondo? Yeah, could you knock over a freighter or something? Yeah, I know the payment's on the way. Just
checks in the mail.
Just do it.
Get over it.
Oh, the Jedi Council says there's a freighter that's been knocked over. You guys need to get out there to the fringe and check it out. It's almost like I thought they would never leave.
He's a plot point.
Yeah, he's a plot point.
Oh man, I think we are actually running out of time. We're pushing that time limit up pretty good. Well, that's our show. Hope you liked it. I gotta hit that subscribe button. So what you'll see is a big red DeathStryke sign with a nice big tree. Click that. That's the subscribe button. Keep that going. Comment. Hit like, dislike. Tell us you hate us. Tell us you love us. Tell us that we got our facts wrong. Do what you got to do.
Correct us if we're wrong.
And please correct us. Sometimes I just talk out of our butts, and that's kind of what happens. But again, hope you guys had fun. I had fun. My name is James Waddington. You are
Sean Sharp. And hey, I had fun, guys, but believe me, we'd love feedback, especially if there's some topic or obscure thing that between the two of us, we kind of got everything covered, I feel.
Yeah, so, I'm sure there's pockets that I'm missing, like a lot of the old canon I'm missing. So please feel free to chime in. If I got something wrong on Thrawn, let me know.
Thrawn!
Captain Kirk. Thrawn! Anyway, guys, take care, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.